Welcome everyone, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. I have a Divine Masculine Twin Flame read for you. It's a really beautiful one today and it ends on the Lovers, so I would definitely stay tuned if I were you. Take a deep breath. Okay, we're going to start out with an energy deck read. So a card from the energy deck. Let's see what we have for today. So for everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all those concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn for the Divine Masculine Twin Flames? And that also affects the masculine within the Divine Feminine Twin Flames. And this is a general read. So again, if something doesn't resonate, don't force it to fit. It is a 7-deck read, and it focuses on the SIRIAN STARSEED deck, which is very in line with the Twin Flame journey, along with 7 other decks. So there's a lot of energy there. So for everybody watching, for the best and highest good of all is concerned, what do we need to know? What do we need to learn? Let's clear all negative energies across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities for the highest good of all is concerned. And fill that empty space with only beautiful divine love and diamond crystalline light. And so it is. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And please pardon me, I just got back from my run and workout, so I'm still sweating a bit here. So for everybody listening, what is the energy starting out for this read today? All right, we have the 7th chakra, Archangel Uriel, which is the crown, your crowning moment, your crowning achievement, graduation day. And this is 41, and it really is. I remember last year too, it's like starting from the solstice on the 20th or 21st through Lionsgate 8/8. It's like a graduation period. It's like getting an extension. You know, there's just time before graduation, but you've graduated now, but you have through August 8th before the ceremony. It's kind of like that. So this is for everyone who has recognized their achievements but may feel kind of like a deer in the headlights after you graduate, not knowing where to go from here. But 41 is the Ace of Cups. It's all about loving yourself first, self-love, spiritual love, and a new love ahead for you. So let's see here. We also have a lot of pinks and purples in there, a lot of compassion for yourself. This card also wanted to come out, cornucopia. So this is like Thanksgiving every day. All right, abundance and feasting, and this is an 11, which is the Justice card, truth and balance. Okay, so lots of abundance for you on graduation day. So, and again, this could be some of you with kids who are graduating. And we have the underlying energies of indecision. Where do I go now? So perfect. It brings up exactly what I was just talking about. Feeling like a deer in the headlights after graduation because, you know, you're so psyched and you're so like, this finally, last year I'm out of school. And then you get out of school and you're like, now what? What do I do now? So it is that, but remember, this is the underlying energy. And behind that is the removal of the mask. So this is behind you. This is what's come out for you now, okay? Now enjoy your moment and your abundance. Enjoy the feast. Enjoy the journey. All right, so let's get into the read here. We have the day's date today, June 19th, 2020. The 19 is the sun, so exposing everything. Happiness, full energy, spending time out in the sun, perhaps with your sunshine. And the day adds up to 2911. 29 is the 3 of Wands, being present to the moment, the gift, the graduation day, right? Really present to the moment, in that moment. Okay, so I saw across the street some baby deer come out. They were so cute with all their little white spots. And then right across from the street from that, when I went out, I saw like a bird's feathers that had been destroyed probably by a cat all over there. So, you know, you're seeing both ends of the polarity, the beauty and the destruction. And then integrating the two extremes back to 0 point. Definitely got a lot of errands done, so you might have felt it was a good day to get 3D kind of things done. but also it's very much a big focus on, like I said, the polarities of dark and light in order to merge them together. We end up I pull cards on either end of the read, so there's a few cards before the underlying energy and a few cards after the last card, the outcome card, which I don't like to call it outcome because for me it's really present energies. But we end up here on the shadow with the other cards beyond that, and the central card for the read is the Two of Cups with the Two of Wands, which in this deck is the twin flames. It's literally two flames above it. So some really beautiful energy in this read. The SIRIAN Starseed deck was cut and dealt at 11:30. 30 is the Four of Wands, the union energy, the stability, the home, the structure, and 11 is justice. And then the expansion at 31. And then the read was done being clarified at 12:12. Again, that's the, like 12:12. It's the end of karma, the end of the world, so to speak. Then we have the major arcana in the read of the Strength card and the Shadow, which is the Devil. And before the read, we had Solar Deity and the Star. Solar Deity is the Sun and the Star. And then after the read, the Hanging Man came up, which is like the Hangman. We had 4 swords in this read, 2 wands, 2 cups, and 1 pentacle. So the masculine very much in their headspace today, whether it's being obsessive in their headspace or intellectualizing, that could be as well, but it's 4 swords as opposed to 2 wands, which is action and desires, 2 cups, which is your emotions and heartfelt things, and then the 1 pentacle, so very little work and practical day-to-day lives, which is their usual. They're totally away from that energy today. The court cards, we have the Knight of Wands, the only court card, we have the Knight of Wands and the Knight of Swords in the read, and then before the read is the King of Swords. We also have the 9 of Cups within the read, which is like often like a person. So very unusual number-wise today. We had all 4 twos out in the read. 4 twos, and I brought that up the other day about the twos, about my trip a couple years ago. That was amazing that I just saw two double twos and triple twos all over the place. So we had 4 twos here. We also had 2 nines, which is also all about compassion. And the other numbers here, the code line added up to 11, so it was 9 and 2, which was 11, so 9/11 is coming up as well. But the 9 of the Hierophant, the 2 of the High Priestess, and then the 11 of the Justice, Truth, and Balance. We also had 4-2-2-1, which is like 42 and 21, the 2 of Cups in the World, but also can be the 4, the 22, and the 1, which would be the Emperor and the Fool and the Magician. And again, like I said, we had 4 twos, very much about one-on-one energy here. And then the 99 of Compassion, the 29 of the present moment, and that's the number that the day adds up to, but it also came up here. Number 12 is the Hangman, number 26, the Page of Wands, the 68, which is the Page of Pentacles, so 2 pages, and the 89, which is for me the reflection of 98, which is the human temperature. So 89 being more of the overheating or being too cold, right? The extremes as opposed to zeroing in on what's good for the human body. We also had in a lesser sense 23, the King of Wands, 36, the 10 of Wands, 67, the Knight of Pentacles, and 78, the 10 of Pentacles. The code line here was all about effort and spiritual partnership. And I didn't go into the separation of letters too much, but the S was separated from spiritual, so that could have to do with rituals of your peers and also pi rituals in order to stay balanced. And S alone is Sophia for me, so using your feminine energies to center yourself like pi as a ritual, some kind of spiritual day-to-day practice. Make an effort to do that, but also PA was coming up separate from artnership or RT-nership. And RT is, that's the abbreviation for technologists, radiology technologists. But it also comes out as art, A-R-T, artnership. So PA can be the father, the pa, but it also can reference Pennsylvania. So we have the Sophia and the father, and artnership, as well as spiritual practices in order to stay centered, the pi. So make an effort, and then spiritual partnership was coming up on the code line, all about the number 11, 9, 2, and 11. And the message here, the moth to the flame was definitely a theme here. the moth and the total weight of that, that need to go to the flame. The 9, the hermit, the collective consciousness were coming here, and the after-death energy of the 2 Knight of Wands, the twins side by side in their passionate selves, VO, which was coming up as, and that's something I use as a co-creation and human embodiment of source energy, right? But it also can have to do with orgasm. So there's a lot of symbology to the VO. But the VO literally comes up as the meaning, the different meanings, to wash, which references uncooked rice, to make into a ball. Ox comes up, which is also OX, kisses and hugs. U, like in an accusatory way. Village, it takes a village, and then to be worth. And then we had effort as the numerology card, so it's saying to be worth the effort. So it's also coming up referencing Mother Mary could be coming up here, but it was more about Metatron and Thoth because they're thought to be the same energy, as well as the 9, and as well as, Mother Mary could come up as that as well. But it was more about the Metatron-Thoth connection here, that energy to the nth degree, and then we have the degree of the 0 again, the source embodiment, the human embodiment of the source energy, or in other words, the 1, the unity, but then the tail was coming up, which references the root chakra, the foundation of it. The foundation is the human body with source energy. That's where we start as a baby. So the root chakra is where we start. A strong foundation, safety and security to make sure that's intact before we build on it. And also the divine director, DD, comes up as a definition also for the M that's coming up here. And also M is 1000, so it's the magician backed up by a whole lot of source energy, which is that Thoth Metatron energy. So some of the stuff that came up online were a lot about flames. So we had Flame Speaker Adept, THS meeting card, -tappedout.net. Another header was Flames, the TV series from 2018, imdb.com. 1111, Flames lyrics came up. If you want to check those lyrics out, you can go ahead and do that. That was from genius.com. Twin Flames, question and answers, how we know, from YouTube, 42217. That was from Divine Union TV, which is a twin flame couple. And then Through the Flames, YouTube, 2/2019 came up from IMVO, VO came up. But when I opened it, it was really hard music. It felt dark, so I don't know if you want to open that or not. Then Denace came up, DENACE, Watch the Flames lyrics from genius.com. And then the Big Sandy News came up, referencing a time period of 1885 to 1929 from Chronic lingamerica.loc.gov. So it's like chronicling America. And then the next header was 99 exclamation point colon u/TASHNB19, and that was from reddit.com. Another header was In Flames Square Nothing Lyrics. That was from azlyrics.com. And then the last one was Mutation Breeding of Sweet Potato by Gamma Ray Radiation, and that was from academicjournals.org. So a lot about the flames energy, so heating things up, right, which can be drama. And from when I went to Wiktionary, the word of the day was Juneteenth today, which is the holiday of ending slavery. Today is 6/19. And the foreign word came up was tetu, T-E-T-U, which means to give. And then it was interesting because one of the acronyms from the code line also meant to give. That came up, which one was that? AD. AD, one of its meanings is to give. So that was very interesting because I never would have thought that. So after looking up the acronyms, coming back to the code line, it was confirming that M was all about Metatron and Thoth, because the DD was coming up, which is the divine directors, and the 0 of the human embodiment of source, the 1, the tail end, the root chakra, where we all start from as a baby human, and also references that 0 is equal to the weight of the world, and the tail, the root of all evil, to give, the oneness. In other words, just being human to begin with is the root of all evil, because being human in this human suit then brings out the shadow side, which is the whole purpose, the contrast, in order to expand the energy. And again, like the moth to the flame, you can't resist. You have to, right? You're tempted. So Metatron and Thoth, the 0, the divine director, the 1, the root chakra, the 9, the hermit, the collective consciousness. Also to give as a human is hell, fame and fortune, fire, the story, doo-doo, poo, ooh, right? So it's all the yucky stuff that you have to see about yourself, your human nature, because we all have it. And then the 2 wands, who then run side by side as the ox, right, which is, a very stable animal, but it's also the O and the X, the human embodiment of source, but also the hug and the kisses, that X marks the spot. To be worth the effort, that it takes a village to take care of each other, to wash and to make the ball, so it's to purify things. It takes a village to purify the world and the village, and it's worth the effort. So in other words, in Spirit is connecting with me right now to emphasize that it takes a village to purify the world, to clean, to make it into that ball, or again, the circle, the human embodiment of source. To be human is to err, to have shadow, to be dark, to want to have temptation, to be drawn to the flame, to have desire. It is normal for a human to feel that way, in order to create contrast. So you can see both polarities, so then you can merge it to the middle to understand what it is to be at peace and love. You can't understand the beauty without the beast, right? So we start this read at 12:55 to 56. And 12 is the hangman, 55 is the knight of swords, and 56 is the 2 of swords, the being in your knowing, and the truth of the Excalibur. We start on the 2 of swords energy reversed, which is about clarity, right? So this big card here on top is the 2 of swords reversed. In this deck, SIRIAN STARSEED deck, I use the traditional names so that you understand what I'm talking about when I speak. But swords are orbs, pentacles are crystals, wands are flames, and then cups are chalices in this deck. But I use the traditional names just to make it easier for you to understand which cards I'm talking about. If they have a totally different energy than the traditional card, I usually do bring that up. So below the 2 of swords reversed is the King of Swords upright, the solar deity or the sun reversed, the star upright, which references that fame reference that just came up, and then the 3 of wands reversed, which is looking back to the past. So there's clarity here after the King of Swords may be drained, overexposed, or over-radiated, perhaps in desperate need of sunshine or stardom, healing, shining their light, or needing their dreams to come true, looking or going back or living in the past, or in other words, the glory days. The Ace of Swords is reversed and the 10 of Swords reversed, clearly a split or feeling divided, lies and a need for clarity, even though here the worst is over. The 10 of Swords coming out one at a time in order to make the bliss last. So it's like that slow burn. This is the slow unburn to really enjoy the bliss. The suffering and silence, the stress, the purge, the dark night, the death, the dark night of the soul. The dark night is also the Batman reference of the masculine. The ending, the transition across the bridge, the 40 bridge, to divorce, to a breaking contract. As Scorpio is going to Taurus reversed, withholding time, money, and energy, or perhaps hiding money from them, a new life, or they've been saving or magnetizing their coin and playing ball, or now playing hardball. Or this can also reference great riches coming in, and all your troubles are over. Leo reversed and Aquarius upright, Scorpio upright, and Taurus reversed. The transformation is complete, and that again confirms the cards that came out in the beginning of the read of graduation and cornucopia. The dark night made it across the bridge. Twins, kids loving each other, dropping the act, breaking the patterns, clearing rejection, vulnerability, abandonment, the victim mentality, the infant, pure and helpless. So here again, we're going back to a reference of the newborn human. The high priestess, the secret, the intuitive, retaining the knowledge for full transformation, the rebirthing process, bloody and messy and hurts like a mother, like the moth to the flame, you are drawn to it. You are powerless to the desire to co-create and be young again. Pisces upright, and Spirit's connecting with me. Pisces upright, Scorpio upright here, holding the Cancer up, because Cancer is reversed, through the solar eclipse. Now there's another Cancer in the energies that's upright. So there's one upright, one reversed, but here it's the reversed Cancer energy. So it looks like there's the Cancer and Pisces energy are upright and holding up the Cancer through this Cancer eclipse moon, or the solar eclipse. So no more covering up on the beach, or no more hook in the train, the tail, the foundation, right, the root chakra, or in the third eye. The dark night is railroading over all obstacles in my way. So that's coming up. And then no pits, Vikings or pillars, Italians or Greeks or Middle East or whiny child to stand in his way, to journey on and carry on. So that was coming up as well. Or the high priestess or Viking princess, or a Pisces person with a miscarriage or child was taken from her, and that can be in custody issues. The hermit is out with the light in recovery of the emperor, the empress reversed, the chariot reversed in a state of emergency, or Taurus reversed and Cancer reversed, or going to the doctor for a Cancer treatment follow-up, or Virgo is helping Taurus reversed and Cancer reversed recover. Issues at work with growth in the ceiling. Someone might be having water problems in the ceiling, some kind of growth, and it could even be like grass or weeds from the outside growing through the ceiling. Or there's a broken machine or a broken vehicle at work, or required to close down to move, and there's move and travel delays, or ambulance may be required for urgent recovery. Or as soon as someone left the office or the hospital, they were rushed right back due to complications at 117, which is the Magician and the Star. So a chance for the Star to become famous and show their star abilities of healing someone. Then we're at 119, which is the Magician and the Sun, full exposure and happiness and energy. Broken, broke down, up or through. Scorpio, Pisces, and Virgo and Aquarius may be helping others get through. Very soon here, and beneath that for the masculine was getting to know each other, may be nostalgic about socks in the tree, the fall, and the strap falling down over the shoulder, and the King of Swords only seeing females with, so the King of Swords at work, perhaps only seeing females with another female present, and that can be like a doctor's office, but it can be in any kind of work. Maybe there was some kind of issue with someone, somebody had a complaint, so there could be like a third party watching them, or just kind of spying in general, but it could be someone being watched over at work, or third party keeping an eye on them, perhaps questionable intentions on a red-headed, bearded man, and that was the person in question. Perhaps scolding a daughter or partner, and the masculine, and another feeling sorry for her, or this red-headed man perhaps, toasting and mirroring the moon at night, perhaps by the lake or in the mountains, seeing the light, illumination, or subconscious shadowy energies are presenting themselves to the masculine. Perhaps he was sent on an errand and never returned to the sham-fam nightmare or to the basement prison, or porn, or forced home sex tapes, or some kind of dark ritual using a cat and a cauldron, a crest, a shield, a crystal, a sword, and a sacrifice. A luxury couch, with really posh materials and high-end fruit coming up here, and ankle bracelets. One life upstairs and a whole nother one in the dungeon or at the mountains. Cinder blocks or memories of abuse as a child. Wife swapping or sex parties where the lobster is not participating and found a pearl hiding. Gently clawing at the pearl with a vice grip, right? Maybe it's like King Kong picking up the girl. He means to love her and be gentle with her, but in the process could crush her, right, with his grip. So then the devil came up here with the numbers in my clusters here, and clusterfuck could be coming up here as well, which I don't say that word, but for that expression I will. So the 15 of the devil is coming up as well as 69, which you all know what 69 is. So there's some kind of sexual deviance coming up here. And then the 15 and 69 add up to 84, which reflects the 48, which is walking away and within. So the 84 is more about walking toward, or perhaps perhaps not walking away when you should, because this should be the end of the cycle. It's like graduation. That 84 has come up in another reading of significance in an ending or a cycle. Parenting comes up here as number 63, so some people may be suffering being a parent, and then leadership beneath that, which is 81, the end of karma. And that comes from the numerology book that I learned from, which is the Divine Triangle. So if you want to check out that book, it's a great book, Numerology, the Divine Triangle. And then stuck without peace, in stress, dealing with kids, leadership, and suffering in silence about all of it. So it's like all of the burdens put on the Divine Masculine, and because you have to be the man and be able to overcome all, you don't speak up for yourself, and then you become inundated until you fall or die, whichever comes first, okay? Because you're supposed to be the strong man as opposed to ask for help. So tripped up, drop the ball, breaking up the act and or patterns of withholding time, money, and effort, with clarity at night or gaining clarity from subconscious bubbling up to be seen. Insecurity, manipulation, a dark character, and temptation behind the facade of the perfect family. So again, i.e. the sham fam. Perhaps squirrely and all over the place right now, feeling that way, perhaps spying on the Holy Grail. There may be a rat inspecting your cup right under your nose, so distracted apart from the ladies who lunch or doing needlework in the yard. You're not even paying attention. Busy bees and busy bodies all around with their nose in your business, but unable to resist the temptation. It's too strong. After all, it's the Holy Grail. But staying in a lie makes him a good man, and following his bliss and truth makes him evil and dark. Or he's just not comfortable with his shadow coming up, and that he's supposed to suppress these things that he's suppressed all these years, or the memory of what happened to him last time he fed into a temptation, perhaps stalking a home, or spying, or a realtor nosing around. Cancer upright, Gemini reversed, or Virgo reversed masculine at 202. At 203, 202 is two intuitives, and then we have 203 of the High Priestess and the Empress. So 10 of Cups comes up here, but again, they're coming up as the sham fam, right? They look perfect on the outside, but there's a lot of issues underneath. The 10 of Cups, happy ending, or an end to an emotional cycle, bringing clarity with death and transition in the state of emergency and suffering in silence, or a sister perhaps in a nightmare. And perhaps it's dealing with parenting, so maybe your kids are giving you a nightmare. Or allowing the kids to run your life and no peace, or no peace of mind, or peaceful place to go. In the recent past is the Ace of Swords reversed, in a split, feeling divided, a big lie, or need for clarity. The King of Wands is upright as the man of passion, and maybe he's a little devilish right now, or just he has Capricorn in his chart, or that could be a separate person who's waving in separation, heartbreak, or having chest pain, lots of energetic exchange and feelings expressed, lots of back and forth, communications or travel to free self from prison, anxiety, fear, or a trap of being patient, or always being the patient angel, quote unquote, the good one. The Page of Swords reversed, perhaps negative self-talk, spying, a mouthy kid, comes to light to the masculine at night, illuminated lovers and the freedom of it, and the Knight of Cups offering love suddenly out of the blue after sharing or being charitable or settling out in a split. The King of Wands, devilish side, setting out suddenly to offer love as the Knight of Cups to the lover, perhaps Cancer or Aries or Sagittarius, or just a patient hostage who's now free at last. Also, this could be an Aries lover spreading rumors about a Cancer prisoner or hostage type energy, right, behind the back of the Sagittarius patient angel, who's so wrapped up in his own head that he's not paying attention, okay, to what's being done around him. The foundation is the Nine of Cups reversed, unhappy alone or not getting their wish, with out-of-control kids or just feeling drained, sick, or overexposed, in desperate need of sunshine and choosing a new path and holding on, grounding, saving, and being moderate, or keeping finances reined in around the kids, like really, tightening the belt there with the kids. The central energy here is the Two of Cups upright. Patient, a patient, an angel, or a Sagittarius connecting with the Emperor reversed. That can be someone who's totally out of control, abusing their power, but also could be someone who's just having issues or ill. It could be an older person who needs to step down or retire, or just is out of sorts today, but on a quest to make a big purchase, or due to finances or family, business, or community loss or dysfunction. So maybe he needs to step down because of a loss of a business or the community position, whatever it is. Or the Emperor reversed is fighting with the Ten of Pentacles reversed, family, business, or community, or stepping down, ego death, or abusing their power, regardless, all destined to happen. Libra upright, Sagittarius upright, and Aries reversed, Cancer upright, here in this area, connecting face to face. It's possible Sagittarius looks very innocent, like an innocent angel, but is lying to the Emperor reverse's face. The challenge being the Knight of Wands reversed, taking a fall, or the player fell short, or soulmates holding back their true desires. The world is complete now with clarity, but new information could also throw you off balance. Taking a break, resting, sleeping, or meditating in 5D, perhaps with the Divine Feminine connection, with an opportunity, or a student's research perhaps now reaping rewards of their success. After they're well rested, perhaps there was a student who is struggling in school, and now they've learned to make sure they get enough sleep and they're well rested, and now they're doing much better, performing much better, and that can reference the masculine as well, surrendering to reap rewards, and the bringing of good news, bringing good news, success, and attention, and leading the way on the journey. Dumping a load, a burden, or a confession, the King of Swords is sovereign and upright, or with a sovereign, or now single, or has it all together, or is now an eligible bachelor. The Page of Wands is inspired to date, perhaps, and the Three of Cups reversed, perhaps a third party, the Queen of Cups upright, holding back their desires, or he from her. It's not a surprise here. The patient angel feeling guilty, or is guilty, or no surprise the Sagittarius is already out there playing the field. Or the King of Swords has two kids, one sovereign, perhaps graduated, and the Page of Pentacles, younger, doing much better in school at 233, which is the High Priestess and the 33 of the Christ vibration, but it's also the Seven of Wands, standing up for yourself, and hopefully without being defensive. 234, or 234, shut the door, is the 2 of the High Priestess and the 34 of the 8 of Wands, which is that energetic exchange, the arrows of love, expressing your feelings, but a lot of energy, flowing back and forth. Both grounded and reaping rewards, still talking about those children perhaps. Perhaps the Queen of Cups, third party, also has an inspired child, perhaps falling short in savings or finding a job as expected because a lot of kids are out of work. Or kids are patient too, just along with the adults in the situation, but Sagittarius feeling guilty about the Page of Wands, King of Cups, which can be one person or two separate people. The Page of Wands, King of Cups could also be a grown child, right, who's inspired. Could be kids standing up for themselves, but also a little bit of negative self-talk there, or spying, or just being silent, or kids of the King of Cups defending him, dumping a load, a burden, or responsibilities, or confessing in order to relieve himself after being imprisoned or with hostage and conflicted, anxious, or in fear, or feeling imprisoned and fighting always going on around him, or people always competing for his attention. So this is kids could be standing up for this father who just can't handle all this right now. So they may be like fending people off for them or standing up for them. So now for the masculine, or in his present moment, is the Two of Wands, the twin flames, the path of least resistance. Frustrated with third energy issues at work, or just the Emperor reversed, losing money or stepping down or not getting along with others and abusing their power. Maybe he's too ballsy or arrogant, or only happy when he's working, or when he sees others doing their work like he expects them to, like they're supposed to. Working into the night emotionally may be fulfilling for him, happy alone away from the Ten of Cups home, where it looks like he's happier by himself as the Nine of Cups upright here, and the family's happy without him at home as the family. Like they're both happy being separate. They don't really want to hang out together. Happy alone away from the Ten of Cups home, and the Ten of Cups home group is happier that way too. The King of Pentacles doing all the work, or being charitable, always giving, or now settling out with them. Perhaps the Emperor reversed, stepping down for the King of Pentacles to step up. The twin flame path, frustrated with third energy, out of control, unable to be aroused, or perhaps unable to conceive of such a thing. The player falling short, it's no surprise, he's distant to the one he's with, and at a distance from the one he's connected to. Dream, the dream girl, healing or the healer, the star and the high priestess, secret or intuitive, flips his lid, blows his top, crown or cover, the sudden event, epiphany or spontaneous orgasm, and being strong, holding their tongue, with the Queen of Pentacles reversed, or lashing out at her, or both at the same time, after getting caught or only confessing after the fact. Announcing or a final judgment and starting over in love, with an offer of love coming home to her crying and destined to manifest in a big new love, with one last look back and being muzzled or kept quiet, and finally blurting it all out. Soon for the masculine is the Six of Pentacles, sharing, giving and receiving, teaching and learning, settling out, on the journey after surrendering to third-party justice, divorce, or Libra. Settlement here is fair. At night is the Knight of Pentacles, offers help, money, or effort to bring clarity, perhaps hanging out to see new perspectives with Sovereign, which can be their twin flame, it can be a child, or just enjoying being by himself. Standing up to him, this could also be a Sovereign standing up to him, or in a better financial place than him, yet still fighting her way out of prison too, if it's referencing a child or the Divine Feminine, still struggling to function with the King of Cups support, which can be, a family member or a friend. So Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn are here. Perhaps children are making restitution for wrongdoing they've done, but they're all upright now, or just being very helpful while a parent is having trouble functioning normally at 301, which is the Empress and the Magician. So the masculine sees himself here as the Knight of Swords reversed, either holding his tongue or lashing out, like I said before, or doing both at the same time. The Knight of Wands reversed, falling short of expectations, or running out of energy, even though they may have good intent. Perhaps running out of energy in a move, a visit, or an ending of a marriage. The Ten of Cups, happy ending or emotionally fulfilled, kids and or twins, vulnerable to the Queen of Cups upright, or the Queen of Cups who was rejected. From the perfect quote-unquote family, the Ten of Cups, with the perfect quote-unquote kids, may see the Queen of Cups as a bad mother, with the Page of Cups reversed and the Knight of Wands reversed, perhaps one spoiled and entitled, or a mama's boy, or seen as a crybaby and weak, and another child, the Knight of Wands reversed, out on the prowl, falling short of expectations, or constantly on the move, or holding back their desires. Or just flip it around, and the Divine Masculine may feel the Queen of Cups may not accept his kids if they've been acting up or did something bad to her. Or family of the Queen of Cups may be being nostalgic. The Queen of Cups is upright, and so is the Six of Cups, but the Page of Cups is reversed, the Knight of Wands is reversed, and the Knight of Swords are all reversed energies. Give your relationship a chance. Separation is here. Let go of your control issues. Passion and romantic feelings all came up for the masculine here. And around him, or how he is seen, is the Eight of Swords upright, the prison, the anxiety, the trap, or a prisoner of love. The world is complete, or the sealed Divine Feminine's offer of love knocks him off his feet, or for a loop, or after the cycle completes and the world is right again, the Knight of Cups offers love to get the Queen of Wands reversed to drop the act, or to trip her up, right, like to catch her in the act. The King of Cups in charge of being love, or in other words, the Knight of Cups, and the Queen of Wands reversed may be in charge of dropping the ball buster, or the screw-ups, Or the Queen of Wands reversed is over breaking patterns or dropping the facade. Or the King of Cups is forcing the Knight of Cups, who's willing, and the Queen of Wands reversed, unwilling, to make restitution. So those two can be kids as well. Or to pick up on her end of the bargain. So the Queen of Wands is coming up as not, holding up their end. Or visiting someone in prison. They could be going, and so then the Queen of Wands would be upset about visiting this person in prison. The masculine needs to clear blocks of strength and always having to be the one who's strong. Post-war PTSD and looting and uncomfortable feelings while hanging out and needing to clear all these energies that's coming together. Spiritual partnership and effort come up here for the masculine. The destiny of the King of Pentacles, always with girls around, and one up and one down, and he being Superman chasing them around to pick them up when they're down. The shadow web, the web we weave, in needlework, sewing, and knitting, one stitch at a time. The rebirth, the awakening, the grand opening, or reopening, or an announcement of a yard or business sale where all must go. Perhaps someone took it from the Queen of Swords and is now dumping it. Perhaps dumping stolen goods. Or allowing the crap to funnel right through you when it doesn't resonate with you. But when it does, the masculine may be feeling guilty, and then afterwards knowing he needs to work to align further. Sometimes the truth hurts, or it's hard to admit, and wanting to hurt that person back in return. Or they're back, or just literally wanting to hurt them behind their back and then end up stabbing them in the back or stealing their ideas, waiting for the Queen of Swords to knight him so he can go back to work. Night, night. So it's like waiting for the message to make sure he's doing what he's supposed to do and then going night, night. It was really cute the way that came up. It's about the masculines, hearing the messages, perhaps listening to some stuff on YouTube, some of it hurting their feelings or getting triggered by it, just like the feminines went through, and then understanding the stuff that he does resonate with to learn from it. So it's going through the same thing that the feminine went through, and understanding now it's not coming up to hurt him, it's coming up here to show him his wounds that he needs to clear. So he waits for whatever he watches to come up, and then he goes night-night, waiting for the Queen of Swords to knight him so he can go back to work and then go night-night. 327 is the Empress, and the 27 is the Ace of Wands. The shadow work of the twins. The Empress and the new passion, looking back to announce the surrender of choices, options, of manifestation, and surrender it to the shadow side of ourselves, to hang out and rise above, to tango, to dance above the drama, and surrender physically to our true desires of creation, lovers, and dance. And by the way, that 29, remember, is the gift of the moment. And again, it's resonating with that graduation day too. So the Two of Swords reversed, clearly unhappy alone. The Knight of Swords reversed feels imprisoned in a split lie or a need to know more about the Two of Cups connection, and challenged by the Knight of Wands reversed player, falling short in sharing, being charitable and strong, and instead of settling and just settling, now settling out to a new choice of path, the twin flames and shadow work, the surrender and hanging out for new perspectives, to rise, to dance, and then more surrender to the twin flame lover. Clearly or clarity in a split lie or cutting through the BS with the 10 of Cups sham fam, the Knight of Cups reversed, unhappy with self or didn't get their wish after all, the Two of Cups upright and the twin flames upright, challenged by falling short, playing around perhaps, or being deceitful, human, or unable to follow through. The Knight of Swords reversed, holding their tongue and lashing out all at the same time, holding back an announcement perhaps, but now settling out. The prisoner of love, in the meantime, being strong and saying hasta la vista, baby, and giving it up to the hanged man, to the tango, to the drama queen, and the wounded warrior. And last but not least, the stars of the show, as Spirit's connecting with me, the twin flame lovers, Adam's apple and Eve's plum, the Christed and the Mary Magdalene, the ante and the post haste in the hero's game, heroes gamos, the holy marriage, holy smokes and mirrors, ascension, a sense ion, or in other words, a sense connection. You must use your senses in order to come together. So that was your read today, which I love that one. And I'm going to pull another energy card for you now. See what comes up now that you've grounded and integrated all of that. Okay, so what is our closing statement here? And where are we? We're at 45:15. So that's the perhaps grieving still, some stuff that's still coming up, and the 15 of the devil, doing some shadow work, which is all good. Just allow it to come up, whatever your day's like. Yesterday was really off for me. Today is really good. Feels really light today and smooth. So remember, when you're feeling really off and you just can't escape yourself, just know you have another reset when you wake up in the morning. You'll be fine. Just allow it all. Allow it all to come right through your body. All right, so that came right up. There we go. That's like the 45, the grieving of the divine masculine, the man holding the heart. There's the 45. Okay, and the shadow came up at the end here doing his shadow work. But he's sad because he feels bad. And there's the storm warning. There's the cyclone coming, right? The storm that comes the minute before, the 11th hour, right, before the storm comes, which is the 0 point. It's not about being fearful of the storm. It's knowing when you stay at that moment before the storm, it's actually the vortex inside of the cyclone, the safe zone. And then we have the 51, which is his empowerment. The 51 is the King of Swords, when the masculine comes into his twin flame empowerment here. And then we have the Angel of Love, which references the divine masculine, or the divine feminine heart as well, because now we have two people with a heart. And it could also reference a child of the masculine and the temple path here. And this could reference going to temple, whether it's going to synagogue or a mosque or whatever it is. Somebody could be graduating in some religious way as well. The foundation here is 34, which is the 8 of Wands again, that very quick back and forth motion. Whether you're ziplining or you're expressing your feelings or your arrows of love or lots of communication and travel, it's having the outside and inside, and allowing the rainbow to always be filtered in and to purify here with the dove, with love. And there's a peacock out here in the yard too here. Okay, so allow all of your sides to show, the pure side of you and the one that likes to show off. Like a kid. Like when I was in junior high school, because I was a gymnast when I was young. So of course, when you're doing gymnastics in private, nobody in regular school can do what you can do. So whenever I would go to my brother's wrestling matches, it was always the perfect opportunity when the match was over to show off some of my skills. So of course I'd run out to go do, round off back handspring back semi or something like that. And then there was always someone there who would say, oh, do it again. So when you're a kid, you live for that stuff. So it's saying to learn from the children. Don't hide your talents under a bushel. Of course you can show them off, but you can also be pure and humble too, because that's part of being human, all of it. So I'm going to show you these cards again here. All right, so we have all the parts of the masculine, the one who's grieving. Let me focus this in a little better for you so you can see it better. Okay, so the grieving part of him holding his heart, but now he's feeling his emotions, which is good, because the cups never came up in the reads before, and now they're coming up all the time, actually more so. Then we have the storm warning, knowing when it's coming and being okay with it all, allowing him to come into his empowerment, the Knight of Swords, or excuse me, the King of Swords. Like here he's manifesting, he's making his magic. This is going from the frog to the prince, right? In order to manifest the Angel of Love on the temple path. Okay, so we have the 49 of the Get Your Wish card and the 12 of the Hangman are just hanging out together. And it also references the Jesus, Mary, Magdalene energy here, right? Both of them with a heart. Okay. And him feeling bad because, he's not facing her face to face, he's behind her. But the storm comes and he comes into his empowerment to become brave and come towards the path here of hanging out together. Okay. What else did I miss number-wise? And then we have the 10, okay, which is the turn for the better. That's the destiny number. The storm warning is what's destined. It's meant to be. I'm going to pull from, since Metatron came up as important, we're going to pull from the Metatron deck too. And then I'll give you a Kipper deck card as well. All right, so Metatron here. Metatron, Thoth, the 9, the collective consciousness, the 0, the human embodiment of source energy. It's all referencing the same energy. Okay, so let's see what Metatron has to say here. What is Metatron? What do you want us to see? Oh, well, that flipped right around. So let's see what this card is. Is it just the 1? Yep. All right. So there's a couple more cards that want to come out too. But we have action, movement needed. All right. So when you're feeling frustrated, move your body. Let those stuck energies come out of you, as well as stretch, right? To get your body moving, to get the energy flowing well again. So again, you might want to go run on the beach. There's movement needed, but it doesn't have to be the beach. And then we have Excalibur coming out of the water. And this is like one of the cards where the dolphin is just below the surface, just waiting there, just below the surface to come out with the truth. And it's time. We get the solar eclipse here, okay? Which is really cool. And speaking of cool, now we have an ice cube on the farm with the crops. There's some kind of learning what to use with your crops to help them grow or help preserve them so they'll last longer. Mother Earth, grounding and support. So we may, they're trying to encourage people to have more, greenhouses at home and grow your own crops. So you always have what you need. And also organic stuff. Mother Earth, grounding and support. 18 is the moon. I'm just getting like vanilla ice and ice cube. So I don't know if they're referencing, music groups or things like that, but it has to do with crops, harvesting your crops and how to plant the seeds, how to make it last. And the underlying energy here is go with the flow, paddle on, all right? Of the slow burn. And this is also the slow melt of the ice, right? Got the slow burn and the slow melt. So again, how to make it last. Is that strong foundation, and here are the cards. Make sure you're physical to allow all that trapped energy to get out of your body. Make sure the truth comes out from beneath the surface, that you always show it and not be afraid to show it. And then keep things cool or bring the heat down, so for a slow burn or a slow melt. Or maybe a patty melt, but without the meat. Okay? So it's about how to make it last. And these are the suggestions you're being given. Exercise, tell the truth, keep it moving, and sometimes things need to be put on ice, and sometimes they need to melt, sometimes they need to be not so hot, right? It's knowing when to go back and forth between the masculine and the feminine, between your 5D and 3D self, between polarities to stay closer to the middle so that you don't throw yourself off balance. So those were very good words of advice. All right, now we have the Kipper deck, and this will be the last one. One last word of advice for everybody watching. For the Divine Masculine Twin Flame energy here, what is the last word of advice? From Mary Magdalene. Mary Magdalene, what would you like everyone to know? Well, that came right out very smoothly. Toil and labor. Work hard on your relationship. 38 is the Queen of Cups, with love, and it's making me want to cry. $38. It's just her high energy that's making me cry. It's very beautiful and loving. It's saying work hard on your relationship. The only place you need to toil and labor is in your love with each other, is what I'm getting. 38 is the Queen of Cups, because the Queen of Cups is not about doing this kind of work. She's about love. And when your family room's empty, it's time to, right? When it's empty like this, it's time to find something to fill it up with. Okay? To enjoy it. Enjoy your space. And let go of your expectations. Just stay in the moment. And don't worry about high honors or what you achieve, your crowning achievements. You don't need the crowning achievement. You need to enjoy every day what you do in the moment and the love that you share. And always show your concern, because that's very romantic and loving. You know, just giving someone a hug, or just know that they're not feeling so great today, or, you know, just a little bit of concern that you care. And the underlying energy is the house. Perhaps you need to move, or you are moving right now, or maybe the White House is having some issues right now. There's some concern from the White House, okay? The main man has fallen, the official person. All right, so that could reference you locally, your own house, or it could reference nationally or internationally as well. There's some kind of official person who may leave office, and there may be some concern about the stability of the home or the need to move, okay? So that's the underlying energy. That's already existing. That's not about to happen. It's whatever is going on right now. What's coming up now is this, you know, working on your relationship with yourself and with your twin. Remember to love yourself first. So, and we just had 5555 too, and 56 now. So make sure you drink your water, get your rest, get your joy, get your nature, and rise and be loved, guys. Bye.